Alright, here we go. Today we are going to be working on my Arctic Cat Prowler right here you see in the background. It's came with 26-inch tires. This is a 2008 650 XT, and it came with a 26-inch tires with a 14-inch rims. I'm sure you already know, I've seen some of my other videos. It came in kind of all messed up. I've been working on it for a while. Anyways, the tires were dry rotted, so I had to replace them and ended up getting some different tires. Now, the tires that I put on are still 26-inch. However, they are a lot heavier duty than the original ones that are on there. So guess what happened? That's right, the clutch was not a happy camper. So now I'm having to redo the clutch, and I ordered a kit from Dalton Clutch a couple weeks ago. I got it in, and it's telling me that I have to replace the weights, and I have to also adjust replace the weights on the primary, and I have to adjust the spring tension on the driven or the secondary clutch. So today we're going to go through that. Alright, so nothing majorly wrong, majorly hard to do this. This is pretty simple. You can follow some instructions. It's pretty simple. It's just a little time consuming though. So I'm not going to go through and show you how to actually pull the clutch off, because hopefully everybody knows. But we'll go through the other stuff. I'll show you some stuff in there, and we can go through there and have it done. Okay, here we are. First things first, we are going to have to pull the seats out and actually take the engine cover off. Other than that, you can pretty much get to everything. It's pretty simple. I'm over here under the tarp because I've got it outside, and the sun and the rain here in Florida gets to it pretty hard. So anyways, as you can see, sorry about the sun in your eyes there. Got the seats and the engine cover, and we should be able to get into everything in there. Alright, here we go. Here's the cover. It's got all these little bolts around it. There, on this particular model, there is the Torx bit type screws. So you got to be careful when you go to take these things out. Make sure you have a good tip. And if there's any kind of trash in the hole, you got to wash that out. Best way I found to fix this is take one of the metal picks, pick it out, and use some brake fluid cleaner and wash it out. This will save you a lot of trouble down the road. Do not strip this little bolts, because they are a pain to come out if you strip the bolt head. Alright, so take your time, have a good tip, and have fun. Alright, here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We have, or I should say, have taken off the cover. Also, right here, on this particular model, the XT model, it has two nuts, one on the primary, which is this one right here, primary, and then this is a secondary, or the driven clutch. As you can see, I've already taken the liberty of loosening these things up, because you got to use an impact wrench for this thing. Yeah, they make a tool so you can use it with the actual breaker bar and stuff like that, but that's a lot of torque, and you're going to be turning and pumping for a little bit. So I've just taken the liberty of just using an impact wrench. It's a lot easier, a lot faster, and it does the same thing. Anyways, two nuts, they're different sizes. Yeah, you hear the airplanes in the background. I'm sorry about that. There's a military air show going on a couple miles down the road, and they seem to be using my airspace as their flyovers. But anyways, look past that and we can continue to work. Anyways, both those nuts got to come off, and the clutches should be able to come off. They just slide off. Alright, we have both, hold on, give me a second. Got a little dirt on the lens. Anyways, we have both clutches out. We got the primary and the driven clutch, or secondary clutch right here. The primary is pretty easy to come off. It just opens up just like so. It's got these little sliders right here, right here, right here. Try not to lose those, and also try not to wash them out with carburetor cleaner. Carburetor cleaner is pretty good cleaner, however, does not play well with plastic. So if you're going to clean this thing out, use some brake cleaner or some soap and water would be perfect. The other thing is the driven clutch. Nothing spectacular about this thing. However, when you take this thing off, if you look up on the shaft coming out of the engine, sometimes it has a little shim, little washer, real thin washer that's there. Do not lose that little washer. It's there for a reason, and it's used as a spacer. That is used to align these clutches together so the belt doesn't get wore out very quickly. And if you ever had a belt blow out in the woods right after you replace it, say you rode it maybe a mile or so and all of a sudden it flew apart, chances are that your clutches were not aligned correctly. So once again, that little washer, that little shim, do not lose it. You'll see whenever you pull it out, usually a little shim back there. Some of them do not have it, some do. Mine happens to have it. That's why I'm telling you that. Don't lose that. Alright, I just set this up so we can look at it and show you exactly what's going on here. As you can see, the old weights on the primary, this is what they look like. And they come in different weights. Now these are the originals, that came off. Stupid airplanes. And I got a weight scale set up on the grams so we can check it out, and let's see. Okay, the ones that are coming off are 21 grams. And I've already gone through and checked them all. They're 21 grams. The new ones that I got from Dalton are 18 grams. So you can see that's 3 grams difference. And according to Dalton, it says it's supposed to make a big difference with 28-inch tires or bigger or heavier tires. So that's what they are. Anyways, here they are. Here's the new ones. And all you do is you pull this cover off and just drop them in. Just like so. Yeah, that's it. Nothing much. That's your primary. Then you just put this cover back on. You put the retaining cover. Yeah, we just lost a piece here. And these pieces can only go in one way, so if they don't go, turn them around and you'll see. See, that's all. It just slides up and down. That's the primary. Alright, here we go. I'm about to start working on the driven or secondary clutch. According to the instructions that I got from Dalton, is you got to replace the weights on the front primary, which we've already done over here. Now we're going to work on the driven clutch. According to Dalton, it says that from the factory it comes in the B1 slots. We need to move it to the B2 slot. Now, if you actually look at these things, it's got some little holes up here at top. And also down here where the spring is at, let me turn around. Yeah, right here. If you look where the spring goes into the slot right in there, you probably can't see it very well, but anyway, there's a slot where the spring slides down in there. There's 3 holes in there. They're numbered A, B, and C. And up here at the top, they're numbered 1, 2, 3. Anyways, each one of those slots represents a degree of time of rotation of the spring or compression of the spring. You can change it around to different slots. I believe there's a website that tells you exactly what settings is what degree settings it is. I'm not really sure. I don't really care about it. I just know that Dalton says B2, and that's where we're going, B2. Later on, I need to change it, then I'll change it again. But for this, we'll go with what Dalton says. For what I'm going to use it, that should be good enough. Anyways, I made a little contraption here to compress the spring just a little bit so we can get this snap ring out of there. And it should split apart, come up, we'll turn it a little bit and drop it back down again. Also, the shaft there, it's got a little marker where the teeth are a little bit bigger than the other one, so the helix will only go back in one slot. It does. It's sort of like a timing thing for the degree stuff. Anyways, make sure that thing aligns back down whenever you put it back down again, and make sure that the spring, you keep track of where the spring was, so in case you mess up, you can always go back to where you started. We're going to move this to the B2 slot. I've already verified it is in the B1 slot. So we're going to move it over and then we'll put it back together again. Alright, well, here we are. This is the next day. I had to stop work yesterday because apparently the snap ring on the thing is a pain. So I had to go get some heavy duty snap ring pliers. Yeah, these are a little bit more expensive than the regular stuff, but they work awesome. The ones I had yesterday broke and I had to stop working. So today I finished up. I put it back together. Here is the secondary. We have it back in B2 position according to Dalton. And hopefully this is going to be working like a champ. And getting ready to put it back on. We're getting ready to put it back on. Anyways, I was telling you in a prior segment earlier about that little shim that goes in the back right there on the secondary. This is what it looks like. See, real thin, real small, nothing major. If you don't pay attention, you're going to miss it. However, you got to make sure that this little sucker is back in there, because if you don't have it in there, your alignment on your clutch is going to be off and you're going to be tearing up some belts in no time. And then you're going to be wondering why your belts are breaking within 2-3 rides. Is because of the alignment. So anyways, make sure that this little shim is back in there. And it goes just like this. This is secondary shaft. It goes right up against the flange there. And it usually lays right here on here. Alright, I am done here. Don't forget to torque this nut, that nut down there, before you turn the engine up. Also, if you collapsed or spread open the secondary right here, make sure right here, make sure that you take your bolt out after you spread that. Make sure, because if you turn it on with that thing on, it's not going to work very well. Anyways, here we go. Alright, today is a couple days later. I haven't had time to mess with this thing. However, I'm adding to the video at the end of this video because I want everybody to know something here. After I was messing with the clutch, a good tip here is on these Arctic Cats, they have a wet clutch, and usually it is separate from the engine shaft. And what it is the outside bell box cover is an integral part of the frame for the clutch, because what it is the belt box cover has a bearing on the inside of it, which is supposed to help center out the wet clutch drive shaft. And well, the other day I took it for a test drive, and guess what? I was trying to figure out why the clutch was sticking. Well, what I found out was that the shaft had cocked one side and was causing the wet clutch inside to be off center and stick. So what I'm trying to tell you is, yeah, if you're working on these things and you're gonna go take it for a test drive and you're working with the clutch, make sure you put the outside cover back on. It's an integral part of the clutch system. And if you don't have it in there, it's gonna cause problems. Anyways, that's what I wanted you guys to know, and have fun. And it's working like a champ though. The clutch is working good. It's just, I had that little problem.